showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor. Y'all check it out, y'all.
Here's a bonus. You heard it before.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Serving that heat. Now turn it up. GCOM Radio.
Colors pulled up outside like it's 1975. She off 1942, you could see it in her eyes. Cause no matter where you are, look, you shine just like a star. When you walk in the room, everybody got their eyes on you. Yeah, you know what I wanna do. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Not feeling this distance between us. I need you, can we go the distance? And this girl, I mean it's hard not to mention this tension. I spend every dime on my pension to mend it. We all need someone. And he say no. You got me writing melodies. Oh, hair all puffed like you straight out of the 70s. Oh, heart so cold, getting cold. Are you telling me? Oh, you don't even chase, cause you know I can't evade. Oh, see it in your eyes, girl, it's all over your face. Pulled up outside like it's 1975. She off 1942, you could see it in her eyes. Cause no matter where you are, look, you shine just like a star. When you walk in the room, everybody got their eyes on you.
Hey, turn it up. GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio.
Arguing all night. Say we need time, but you know I know better than that. And you know I can't stand distance between us. I need you, can we go the distance? And this girl, I mean it's hard not to mention this tension. I spend every dime on my pension to mend it. We all need someone. And this ain't no. You got me writing melodies. Oh, hair all puffed like you straight out of the 70s. Oh, heart so cold, getting cold. Are you telling me? Oh, you don't even chase, cause you know I can't evade. Oh, see it in your eyes, girl, it's all over your face. Oh, like you straight out of the 70s. You can see times are changing. I can feel it. I'm not changing.
Yes, this is Nova Phoenix from GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. We are here with one more episode again for you guys. You just heard Michelangelo Divine with 70s. That is the bonus track to open up the show with. Just had so much good music and you don't hear it again. How do we keep it in the loop? We got doing some bonus tracks. And matter of fact, we got another bonus track that we're going to play for you guys just to fill it out a little bit more. Yes, this is a podcast, but I like to highlight independent artists that are doing a thing that don't get spin on the radio, on the traditional radio. So you can listen to this music right here. You know, there's one artist that I was listening to that I've always heard his music, but they never play it. Sometimes I'm out late and I hear that music, or early in the morning. I'm out early in the morning on the grind, and I hear his song that I always dug, I always loved, and then I finally heard it from my nephew this past weekend. I was hanging out with some fam. That it was Pop Smoke. That song, Welcome to the Party. Man, I love that song every time it comes up. But the thing is that I hate about radio is, even if it's like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever, they don't tell you the artist that is playing, that the song just passed. And I'm like, I've heard this artist, and I know it's programmed in, 4 or 5 times, 7, 8, 9 times. And I'm like, yo, who is this person? I have no idea who it is. My nephew put me on. When the song came on the radio, I'm like, hey, his name is Pop Smoke and he from Brooklyn. That's what's up. Why they can't say that on the radio? I will always tell you the artist that's on the radio just to shout them out. Like, how else are you supposed to find out? My nephew and niece came over this weekend just to hang out a little bit with me because they have some time off of school. And we went out, hung out. The fam gathered around, the old lady and my all the young ones, but they grown now. My nephew's in high school now, so he getting to be a grown man, and he telling me about the girls he's interested in. Come on, he's a freshman in high school. I'm like, bro, who you interested in? Come on, let me know. Well, there's just this one. And I was like, yeah, there's that just one, and you all nervous and you sweating bullets and your heart is palpitating and all that, and you don't know how to talk to her, and your friends are saying, come on, go ahead and talk to her. She's on the bus, she's in his class, and he has yet to say anything. Yo, that reminds me when I was a freshman. Like her, had every opportunity to say something, but never said anything. Was just way too nervous. I was just never, I didn't know what to say to girls when I was a freshman. I had no idea. Palms are sweating and my heart is beating fast, and I'm like, and you're talking to her, and then all the while you want to say, okay, this is my time. This is it. I'm going to say it right now. And you never get to say it. Oh man, those times. Yeah, man, just hanging out with them, and in Long Island, Roosevelt Mall, just kicking it, doing a couple things, and it's fun to be with them, man. Fun to be with them. What else is going on, man? Oh man, this ban on e-cigarettes. I never thought vaping. They were promoting vaping like it was supposed to be this healthier alternative to smoking, like Marlboros and Newports and all that, because all the chemicals and stuff they're doing. And it's supposed to be like, oh no, this is just straight the chemical. You're not doing. And it turns out that these kids are falling over from vaping. What is going on? It's crazy. A couple of people getting like lung ailments or whatever like that and dying from it. Listen, let me tell you something. I smoked for 10 years. I don't smoke anymore. I used to smoke weed. Not that I have any problems with it, but, circumstance, it was just a decision to say, I don't need to really smoke. Would I turn down smoking? I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say I would turn down smoking. But I tell you this, if you're going to smoke, go with the marijuana. I will put up my 3 fingers to it, cross my heart, and that's my word. Go with marijuana. Stop with this vaping. Stop with the cigarettes. I did that one time when I was smoking at the time. And I was also going to the gym. And then one time I was hanging out with this guy, a friend of mine, and we was in a bar. And he was like, hey, you want to smoke? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll smoke. It was like Newport Lights. I smoked it, and I was like, I got this crazy head rush, like a lack of oxygen or something like that. I'm like, oh, this is what... smoking cigarettes. He's like, yeah, it's gonna happen like that, first time smoking, but it won't be like that forever. So I think I had like 2 or 3 cigarettes that night, whatever. Never smoked before in my life. I think I was like in my mid-20s or something like that, 28 or something. And then I went to the gym afterwards, and I hit the treadmill, and I could feel my lungs wheezing, trying to catch up with the running with my pace. And I'm like, yo, I never felt like that before. I smoked a weed and got on a treadmill, no problems. Smoked cigarettes for the first time, one time, 2 or 3 cigarettes in all my life since up to that point. I get it on a treadmill the next day, and my heart, I could feel my chest wheezing. And that, I was like, nope, not doing it no more. Not smoking no more. If I can't get on the treadmill and do my natural run without having to feel any effects from the smoke from the night before, from cigarettes, I'm not, no, man, I'm not doing that. Why? I never felt it before when I was smoking weed, and all of a sudden I smoked cigarettes for the first, and I, right then and there, I was like, I ain't smoking. I hung out with him a couple more times after that. He's like, yo, you want one? Nope, I'll pass. That's all good. But no, I tried it, not for me. Yo, not doing that. And now with these kids falling out with vaping, it was no problems with weed, but it is what it is. So let's get to going on this show and get it started, because I know there's a lot of material to cover that I would like to talk about with you guys. So the topic for today, what's going on? The topic of the day is, what would you do if you had 5 years to live? What made me bring up that topic? I know this guy that I deal with every day, and he's in his mid-50s. He reminds me of the Honeymooners, Ralph Cramden. Swear to God, he reminds me he looks just like Ralph Cramden. Black hair, short, heavy set guy, gained weight. He was not like that before, of course, 25 years ago, but he gained a lot of weight since then. So I think he's like 55 something. Turns out this dude has ALS. Yes, that's Lou Gehrig's disease. It is a neurological disorder where it affects the nerves going to the muscles, and the muscles start failing. And they call it Lou Gehrig's disease because they never knew at the time when Lou Gehrig, he's a baseball player back in, I think, the 30s or something like that, or 40s, whatever. And it's the first time then someone of stature, a public figure, came down with the disease. So they nicknamed it Lou Gehrig, but it's ALS. I forget the long name, but people know it as ALS. And there's no cure for it, and it just gets progressively worse until your body starts the muscles start shutting down. It starts affecting your limbs, your throat, your all different parts of your body, and to the point where you pass away. Your body can't function anymore. It's some sort of a misfire glitch with your nerves going into your muscles. So, and I knew this guy from before, and he just passed it off. We would talk in the car or whatever, and he would just pass it off. I'm going to the doctor. I'm figuring out what's going on with me, blah, 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 blah. He said, check this thing out. And he would show me his arm, and his arm, the muscles in his forearm was just twitching uncontrollably. He said, wow, crazy, right? It's wild. I'm like, yeah, man, what's going on? You got to get that checked out. Well, lo and behold, he went to the doctor, and all the doctors he went to before couldn't figure out. So finally they ran these tests, and unfortunately he has ALS, and he is in the beginning stages of it. And his left arm always twitches. His muscles, it's just like crazy misfiring going on. You could just see it moving. It's wild. And then one day he said, yeah, man, it's crazy, right? So I said, why, why are you working? Like, you know what I mean? He's like, what else am I going to do? I'm just going to sit in the house and wait for this thing to take over. Man, he's right. He's right. And then he said, yo, check this out. Let me show you, something else that's crazy wild. So I'm like, yeah. He opens his mouth, sticks out his tongue, and his tongue is vibrating just as much as his left arm. And the ALS also affects, of course, the muscles. The tongue is a muscle, and it eventually goes to the throat, which they say one of the things is with ALS is it's hard to eat, hard to swallow, because of the muscle twitching, I guess, and involved with that process. And it was just this tongue, he stuck it out, and it was just quivering. I've never seen that before in my life. It was crazy. I'm like, oh man. And I told this dude, I'm like, why are you working, man? Why? He's like, what am I gonna do? I'm not sitting around. I'm like, yeah, but my thing, and I looked it up, and I'm a Google guy, so whenever some things I can't figure out, I just go straight to Google, and I'm looking up ALS, and I'm looking at all the symptoms and exactly what he went through before he knew, before I knew, before everybody knew. And then I'm like, oh snap, this dude was going through the symptoms and we all didn't know. And they saying some people live with it for like 20 years. Other people live with it for 3 to 5 years. So at most he has is 3 to 5 years of life. And I'm like, if that's the case, then my thing is, look, if I know my quality of life is going to progressively get worse over the years, and say by the 4th year from the date of me discovering that I have a particular disease, I'm doing everything I can to live my life to the fullest before I am immobilized and incapable of taking care of myself. And let me tell you, he's a tough cookie, man. This guy's a tough guy, and he has this tough outer exterior, when he talks about it. But I know inside it's crushing him, man. And the only way where he could keep himself from staying sane is by working. And I see it on his face, like, everybody knows they're gonna die. We're all gonna die, in the grand scheme of life and the human existence. Things are born and things are going to die. And of course we know at some point we will take away, the thing about getting hit by a car or rock falling you, whatever. We don't know all that. But if all in all everything is good, we will die into our old age. In our 70s or our 80s, we're gonna go. Some people are lucky enough to go into their 90s and until they become centenarians, I think it's called. But to know that you're gonna die in 3 to 4, 5 years, man, what does that do to you? Knowing that your time is limited, what does that do to you? Man, when I hear about people in accidents and they just come out and they come the next day, and I'm like, man, it wasn't your time. It wasn't your time. But doesn't that orange juice taste that much better the next day? I tell you, you have a whole new meaning to life and how you don't take it for granted. And every single thing that we experience in this thing that we call life, we cherish and we enjoy. Now, there are 5 things I know I would do if I know my time is limited on this planet. I say, number 1, fuck work. I'm not doing work. I'm not being around people that I don't care about. Now, let's be honest. We work with people that we work with, they're not our family and they're not our close friends. We work with them to meet an objective for the company. Some people we like, some people we don't like. That's what it is. But I tell you, I'm not spending my time, my limited time, dealing with people I don't care about. Or if I don't see him ever again, then I'm gonna be like, oh, well, or it's gonna in some way affect the quality of my life. No, these people are gonna go on and they're gonna live their life. No, fuck work, I'm out. I'm gonna try to do something. If I have enough money saved up, whatever I do have, I'll take an early retirement. I'm like, if I'm his age, and I'll figure something out. I'm gonna sit on a beach, something. Number 2, I'll focus on my family. That's all. And close friends. Who else? Hang out with them. Hang out with your grandkids. Hang out with your nieces and nephews. Hang out with your brother. If you got beef with this cousin, hey man, listen, whatever we had in our past, it's nothing. It is what it is. Make peace with people in your family, in your close circles, and then just chill with them. All those other times that you kind of like, I gotta work. You know what? I'll sit down here and watch this movie with you, a movie that I hate. But because it's with you, I'm going to be with you. The third thing I would do is find a place, man. I will find a happy place. I would explore nature. I would visit the beach. I'll go to the park. I'll do all the things I didn't get to do or again took for granted. I would stand on the top of the Empire State Building and just sit there for hours looking over the city skyline. All right. I will go to the park and I would hear the birds and I would close my eyes and I would enjoy and I would smile. I'm like, this is a beautiful thing. I would try to find a new me while I'm meditating in these places. Fourth thing, I would travel, man. If I have the money, I would travel to Tibet, South America, Africa, Europe. I would go places and see things and eat foods I have never had before. I would sit in people's religions and I'm like, can I, no disrespect to your culture, to your people. Can I sit in here? I want to learn. I want to absorb. Now, these are all the things that we should do when we're living. To me, personally, all these things we should do when we're living. But when you have a limited time, man, I would write down. I have a journal. I would write down every experience and I'll write it down. And I think I would just put it in a chest or put it in an envelope and I will save it for my grandkids to read. And I will tell them, hey, maybe you would want to go there yourself and experience what I experienced and have some sort of a new outlook on life and have appreciation. And if I can't go to these far places, I will go someplace where I can afford. I will visit probably every state in America. I will go to South America, Mexico. I would chill out and I would try to understand people. I would try to understand them. I would sit down and I was like, you know what? I'm shutting out everything. Let me know. I want to know who you are as a human being. And the last thing I would do, of course, tie loose ends, man. Have my will, get all that set up. Again, make peace on a personal level with myself and just be content. Just be content. And then all the while I'm still living and up to the point where I'm bedridden. And when it's time to go, it is time to go. People, don't waste time with your life. Live your purpose. Live your purpose. You know how many people will live their entire lives, and I've always said that, people will live their entire lives and not know. Live their entire lives and thinking work is something that we need to aspire to. This is what we're here for. Man, we're not here to work for other people. This is a man-made construct in a capitalist system. This is something that has advanced itself and metamorphosed itself into what we see as today, working to pay bills, working to pay rent, getting this paper money in order to buy this food. When back in the day, all the tribes and other peoples, all they did was just bend over, pick it up off the ground, dust off the dirt, and ate the thing. There was no such thing as getting money. All right? And if they were transactions, it's not the transactions that we understand of it today. I'm not wasting my time not living my purpose. Now, it's something that this man has to go through for himself and come to terms with it, come to terms with everyone around him and his own life, because his time is limited. He is on, he has a stopwatch. All right. Or his clock is ticking literally up to the 4th year. Not to say he's going to live a quality life to the last breath, because it's going to get worse. But for me, I'm living my life, and I thank the ancestors, and I thank the gods, and I thank all of the universe around me that I have this precious thing called life, and I can live it. And I'm not going to waste my time with other frivolous, useless things that I know mean nothing to me with this gift that I have. I'm going to live my purpose. And my purpose is talking to you guys. My purpose is making sure Lyfeblood.com comes into fruition no matter how long it takes. That's my purpose. I'm trying to find my true self. While I'm here, I'm trying to find my true self. And I don't know what happens on the other side. I don't know. Anybody knows what happens on the other side? I have no idea. It could be total pitch blackness. We can reincarnate ourselves into something else, or not we, but in the whole cosmic grand machine, if you for lack of a better word. The process. Maybe I get reincarnated. Maybe I'm in another body. I come back as an animal or a butterfly, an insect. I don't know. All I know is the experience that I have right here, and I deal with my experience as best as I possibly can. And to have regret and to have doubt only is a bruise on the surface of my soul, of my own self-worth, of my own character. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my time with other things that mean nothing to me. It absolutely means nothing to me. And to work for other people means nothing to me. And I think we miss that in the world that we live in today. I know someone that worked from day one to the last, up until his 3rd or 4th wife, because he was like, man, I was always a hard worker. I always spent 10, 12 hours a day working and doing my thing, and I ran my own, and I was a foreman, and his dude in construction. And I finally started to slow down with my 3rd wife. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to tell him why he had issues, and I'm sure it's a lot deeper than what I assume of his previous breakups. But one part of it was him being a workaholic and just being in it for all his life and be a worker ant, because that's all he was. I don't care who you are, Whether you are a manager or a supervisor, you are a worker ant working for other people. And you can miss your entire purpose by feeling that you are here for that. No, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm going to live 100 years of my life or 80 years of my life and not achieve my goal for me. That is the ultimate sin, if you ask me. That is the ultimate sin. Anyway, let me get into that first show because my time is going. Not seeing that first show, the first song of the show. So we're gonna come up with a little double up with the Interlude. I like this song, man. So check this brother out, man. Good joints. All right. Oh yeah, and that's right. The second bonus track that I have for you guys, coming back with Urban Republic with So High, two dope brothers. Check out these two joints.
Oh man,
Check this out.
we're going in with another one.
It's on.
GCOM Radio.
Said they was thorough, y'all believed it. Stay humble, ain't see me beasting. Niggas want famous shit, bitch, you want shame me shit. I think they want can me reaching. Yeah, I play the block with my demons. Run up and whack it for treason. Yeah, play the block with the sack, my Adidas. My little bitch had the pack when I ran off. Little bitch, you third, gotta keep it. Soon as touch down, I beat it. Gotta skip behind me, I speed it. I fuck that little bitch way too good. I got her do what she done kid. Little nigga down for a strap. Wet OT and I teed it. Soon as touch down, I beat it. Really on T, no drip shit. And if 40 came with extensions. And I T-shirt with my henchmen. Y'all nigga fresh out the trenches. But he want shame me. Niggas want famous shit. Feel like I'm made for this. Her birdie swag shit. We out here moving and we taking major risks. Pull that stick, get back with. Little nigga chop felt my track. I been players running that sack. Riding with a stick on my lap. That jungle and I learned her that. Late night running that sack. Little nigga reach get whacked. Nigga chop felt my track.
On the #1 podcast platform in the world, GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio.
I was getting high when the money came. 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 She was getting high when the money came. She was getting high when the money came. She was getting high when the money came. We was getting high when the money came.
Open the lick and roll up the spliff. I was at clock when I met that little bitch. Got the good number, we testing this shit. She said she stay off all the west in this shit. My ex is the past and them pass all the shit. She blow my phone, said she want me to hit. I play it cool, you know flexing this shit. Come fuck with the trail, them niggas ain't shit. Sex game is crazy, but not one to brag. GPS go on the way to the pad. GPS cause I don't know where I'm at. I'm never in foot and my hoes in the cab. She blew a beeler to get in the zone. Then she just blew me a fucking trombone. She calling me daddy, your kids are not home. We high off the moment, yeah, we're both gone.
I was getting high when the money came. 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 She was getting high when the money came. She was getting high when the money came. She was getting high when the money came. We was getting high when the money came. She waiting on me, knowing dick is coming. Dorm room smoking, got the shower running. Missed the pipes, I'm about to fix your plumbing. I got this purple haze, I heard it's mind numbing. She come, I leave, that's forthcoming. Then I'm back to the road, got my finger thumbing. Niggas jealous and so unbecoming, cause money always got a nigga into something. 2 a.m. I got the text, a nigga missed the call, she said she DTF. Gon' cut at the last shit, a chef. Riding on this dick, I got ash on my chest. Hitting it from the back, trying to catch my breath. Then a friend jumped in and put some pep on my step. Strapped on caps with these Georgia Techs, and I beat the pussy up like a rambling. I was getting high when the money came. 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 She was getting high when the money came. She was getting high when the money came. She was getting high when the money came. We was getting high when the money came.
I want to hear more. GCOM Radio.
Okay, that was Lil Double Up with the Interlude. That was a tight song. You know how we do on GCOM Radio. But before we start into the second segment, which is, I think, the most important segment of the show, of course, we have to open up into the business of the week. Without further ado, let's get it going.
Ladies and gentlemen, but
Bringing you the business of the week and its innovative founders is what you've been waiting for.
The electric vehicle revolution is here. We've seen it in the famous EV car Tesla, the Faraday Future, and other new prototypes entering the market. The car industry has slowly accepted the fact that the EV car is here to stay and the technology is here to solidify its place. Matter of fact, all the current major car companies have stated publicly they're making their 100% changeover to electric vehicles in the near future. Let's say like 5 to 10 years, roughly. One problem. The batteries, they charge slow, they degrade fast, they are fire hazard if punctured, and they won't supply a reliable charge when it is extremely cold. One Mumbai-based company is onto something, Gigadyne Energy. This company was created by two students, Jubin Varghese and Emillo Gadiwan. They're using graphene, a recently discovered material that is 100 times stronger than steel and having powerful electrical properties. Graphene being fused with supercapacitors and other elements created a battery that is lighter, greener, improved the life cycle 50 times greater than lithium-ion batteries, and charges 0 to 100% in 15 minutes. They're planning on rolling out their product in 2020. Go to gigadyne.com for more info. Okay, great. All right, so we're going to start this second segment with an unfortunate turnout for a gentleman that died from the police. I did the show with LK Mason back in January 2019 of a brother that died in Niles, Ohio. His name is Matthew Burroughs. He was killed by the police. Unfortunately, and a gentleman named Pastor Todd Johnson was on the interview phone call of him supporting the family and the community with this senseless death out of the many that black folk has to deal with in this country. And this recent news that came out saying that the prosecutor is letting the police go. So he said there was no wrongdoing in the case. The prosecutor's name is Dennis Watkins. And he's saying that the officers that were involved were cleared of any wrongdoing. That's upsetting. Unfortunately, I can't say that I'm surprised because time and time again when we deal with police brutality or a brother ended up dead by the hands of the police, that this is the usual turnout. So Matthew Burroughs, this is a gentleman that he was handling some personal issues at the local court in the court building, and somewhere he was there was a warrant out for his arrest. Now they're saying that he left, or they were in pursuit. I don't know how you're in pursuit of a gentleman that was in the courthouse, but I don't know. The question is, did Mr. Burroughs know that the warrant was out for arrest and he tried to run off? I don't see how you can run off if you're in a court building. There's so many processes. I know New York court buildings, and you have police that's screening people as they come in, if they haven't, just to make sure they don't have any guns or anything like that, weapons, whatever. So I don't know how this guy left anyway. So it's weird. So I don't know how the Ohio court system is set up. So I don't know if he knew and he tried to evade the police, or he left, just like, okay, I finished my business. I'm going home. And then the court was like, they figured out, the clerks was like, oh, wait a second, he has a warrant out for his arrest. Let's go get him. So the court officers go after him. They say by their report, they tried to get him. They couldn't get him. He sped away. All right. Allegedly, he used his vehicle as a weapon against the cops, but he sped away. This is how, and then the Niles police officers were called in to bring him in. Okay. And they were in quote unquote pursuit. I don't know. We don't see. They catch him at his home. in his car. So as they arrived there was one officer already there. His name was Officer James Reppy. No, excuse me, Officer Chris Manila. Chris Manila was already there, and he called in on the phone and he says, I don't think he's gonna stop, Dan, over the radio. And there were a couple other officers that were there other than Officer Manila. His name is Officer James Reppy, Officer Paul Hogan, and Lieutenant Dan Adkins. And they were all there. So they made the call as soon as, and we see there is footage, and I'm about to play it. Before I play it, I'm just gonna let you know. So Officer Reppy comes out, the shots are heard. Officer Reppy hears the shots going off, so he discharges his weapon as he comes out his car. And when you see the video play out, you see Matthew Burroughs is dead. So he was killed by 3 shots to the chest, and it came from Officer Manila's gun. The shots that Officer Reppy fired did not hit Mr. Burroughs. So we're about to go into this tape, and just forewarning you, it is very graphic. You please, if you can stand to watch this, please don't watch this. You can continue to listen to it on here. For those that want to go a little bit deeper, please pause this on the app. Go to the YouTube channel. That's Lyfeblood.com /GCOM Radio /DS Entertainment. Find this very episode and come right back to this spot where I'm about to play this video, because you would like to see this video, how it plays out. So let's get into this video right now. Okay, so here's Officer Reppy going to the scene where he's being called to capture Matthew Burroughs. All right. So now he's going there.
I don't know if he's gonna stop, Dan.
I don't know if there was a car chase or something, but look at that. As soon as he gets out, shots fired.
Radio, shots fired, shots fired. Get out of the car!
Out of the car now! You hit? You hit?
Send an ambulance, send an ambulance.
Yeah, you got it. He's hit.
That's freaking running me over.
Stop that car!
It won't stop. He's out.
Niles, radio, we need a squad. Signal 5. All the officers are dead. He's not.
Is he reaching?
I can't tell what he's doing.
Watch crossfire.
I'm right here.
He's reaching. Hands up!
Who's got their ass on?
Moving, he wouldn't stop.
You fucking ass.
Watch out.
31 lanes and fire, turn round.
Lower. Shows your hands. Get your hands up. Get them up. Hands up. Crossfire, Paul. Radio, get a squad. Get the door.
Steering round.
Who's shot? No, I'm not. You?
Me and him?
No.
I was just gonna plug the head of the car.
I know, but he turned towards me. Go ahead, Dan. You guys got him covered? I got him covered. Pull him out, Dan.
Glove up.
110, did you have traffic?
Watch your heart.
We gotta drag him on the other side then. You got gloves on you?
Detectives in 101, that's okay.
One second, I couldn't copy your traffic. I'm getting calls about what's going on.
I'll take care of this for now, bro. Who else?
You?
You? Who else?
101, and I need detectives dislocated.
Dan, go ahead back to your car, Dan. Go ahead.
Okay, so that was the shooting of Matthew Burroughs and how Officer Reppy's chest cam took the video of the entire scene when he first initially jumped out his car. Now, just going to go back in time a little bit here and reverse this tape, and where Officer Reppy was in his car and it came out. Now, a couple of things that I wasn't sure what was happening here is my number one question is what I think sounds like Officer Manila telling Officer Reppy or telling over the radio that I think he's not stopping.
I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan.
He's not going to stop Dan.
I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan. I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan. I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan.
Pretty calm. I don't know if he's going to stop Dan. I mean, sounded pretty calm, pretty cool. You know, doesn't sound like a high-speed chase, or I don't hear of him, because they said that he used his vehicle as a weapon. I don't hear any agitation. I don't hear any excitement. It just sounded like, I don't think he's going to stop Dan. It just sounded pretty mundane. Like, you know, hey, do me a favor. Could you give me a cup of coffee with 2 sugars? It sounded pretty calm and collected and you know, just normal. Nothing crazy. Now, in the video, as the video goes on, you see Officer Reppy get out, hears the shots, and he knocks off 4 shots. He knocks off 4 shots. Okay? Now, the 4 shots that he discharged from his weapon did not hit Mr. Burroughs. What killed Mr. Burroughs was the 3 shots from Officer Manila's gun. Now, I believe that went through the window into the chest, straight into Mr. Burroughs' chest. So, again, when I go back to the video, let's go back again when Officer Reppy's in the car, okay?
This guy.
Officer Reppy's in the car.
I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan.
3 shots. Pow, pow, pow. In the video, I don't see the car in motion. I don't see, you know, I've seen car chases from cops when the cars are stationary at first and the person trying to get away, you usually hear rubber from the wheels peeling, smoke from the wheels going, a car getting hit, going forward, going back, going forward, going back. I don't hear that. Because again, when you look at the video, when from the point where he says, I don't think he's going to stop Dan. Everything is calm. He gets out the car. From that video, the car looks stopped. No one was trying to get away. No one was trying to peel off. I don't see a reason why a cop would need to discharge his weapon to stop the driver of the vehicle. Matthew Burroughs is dead. Now, let me give you some examples of where in other situations where I would understand where the cops would have to shoot a person in a car that's trying to get away. Here are two situations, all right? Two situations where you would have, it's a Florida Highway Patrol gets rear-ended doing a routine stop. She chases perp through heavy traffic and running up on the shoulder. You know, she finally rams into a stop. This guy's windows is tinted. She can't really see in this vehicle. But for some reason, the guy gets out alive. Now, in the second video I want to show, here's another situation in Florida. Is Chattanooga police and a Tennessee Highway Patrol chasing a rape suspect. High-speed chase through the rain. The police car gets wrecked. 15 other cars gets damaged in the chase. The police car had ran up on the embankment because it was trying to avoid hitting another car. So he did pretty good. You know, he came out fine. He was all right. But he was successful in not hitting the other car. So they had to ram this other guy. They stopped him. They pulled him out. They arrested him. There are a number of points in that video where I would understand why the cops would have to discharge their weapon. All right, let's go into this videotape. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show this video of why I feel this is kind of crazy with what happened to Mr. Burroughs. So this is a video of this cop, this Florida Highway Patrol that was doing a routine stop, and while she's getting his license, boom, she gets hit from behind. Right, this guy hits her from behind and pulls off. Right, he's tearing off. So she feels it. I know she's stunned. She's like, what the heck is going on? Let me radio this in. And you hear her voice? Just listen to this.
I just got hit, and the guy's fleeing on foot right now. It's fleeing in the car right now.
What's your 20?
Southbound on the turnpike, Mount Margaret 29. It's a Honda Civic.
Now she's already excited. Her blood is going. You can hear the excitement in her voice. The adrenaline is pumping. Her heart is beating fast. Her heart is beating fast. She's running up on the shoulder, following this guy. Hear what she's saying.
Street traffic. Repeat. Station bound 32 traffic.
We're getting off of Mount Margaret 29. Still fleeing. He hit me hard from the rear. He reversed and took off. He's failing to stop.
She's on a tear now. She's coming after this guy. As I said before, the adrenaline is pumping. She's following this guy. She doesn't want to hit anybody because at times the traffic gets kind of heavy. It stops. She's rolling up on the grass, following this guy opposite this traffic. You know she's on heightened alert at this point.
We're traveling eastbound. He's going single 12. Whiskey. He's trying to get back on the turnpike.
Okay, so now I fast forwarded the video a little bit. It's like an 8-minute video, as I said before. So this guy's tearing through the traffic, going crazy. All right, she's hot on his ass. All right, hot on his ass. So now look what happens. Check this out. She's got to stop him. She's got to stop him now. Crashes up on this guy. Now check this out what she does. The sirens are going. Notice his windows are tinted. She don't know what's going on in there. She may have an idea, but the windows are tinted. She's coming up on him with the gun drawn. Her partner's jumping over the hood. He's seeing what's going on. He's trying to get him out the car to see what the hell. They're not thinking about it. She pulls the doors open. She's sticking the gun in there. She's telling him and giving him orders to turn off the car or whatever the orders is she's getting. She's got it under control. Now her other partners are coming up because she called them before. Their blood is riding high. Their heartbeat is pumping. The sirens are going. Who is this guy? They got him out. They got him out the car. So you see, that was just an example of how in this situation, if this guy ended up shot, I can understand why. Because when you're in that motion and you're going and your adrenaline is coursing through your veins and you're wondering if somebody's going to get hurt from this high-speed chase, and you know you have to stop them to the point where you have to fishtail them out, spin them out, and you jumping over your cars, your partners are right beside you, the car windows are tinted. It's illegal. They used to pull a lot of people over in New York for tinted windows, because I can understand why cops don't want tinted windows, because they don't know what's happening inside the car. So it was illegal to have tinted windows. You can only tint it by like 15% or something like that. But here in that video, you see that the windows are tinted. Was she able to see coming around? Now her partner was coming around the back end. Was he able to see what was going on in the car? Now, if they would have let off shots into the car, then I would understand. I would kind of understand. I would get it why. If she decided to shoot and say, well, I don't know what's happening, I thought I saw something, but the tinted window, she had every right to make sure she came out of that alive. The guy got pulled over, he was arrested and everything. And then you don't see in the video 4 other cops come around and they're, doing what they have to do, pull this guy out, and they got this guy out and arrested him. There were many instances where shots would have rang off to kill this guy, and they would have been justified, or they would have found a reason to figure out why this person had to be shot, and figured it out later. The cam is on. The car cam is on. Now that is a police chase. That is a police chase where you can see how a cop would end up discharging their weapon because they thought they saw something. But no, that didn't happen. And they were at a time where she peeked open the car. I don't know if the guy's going to let off shots through the window. It's not bulletproof. But she ran up to the car. Her partner ran up to the car. They didn't shoot nobody. She banged the car on the front of her police squad car to open up the door. Excuse me. She pulled open the door and banged her car to see what was going on. She stuck her gun in there. The guy could have let off shots. You don't know. But in the moment, you're just going because you're trying to apprehend this dude. The guy got arrested. Everybody goes home. Perfect video. Now, let me get into this next video, and you'll see to further solidify my statement, how I feel about what happened to Mr. Burroughs in this situation. So check out this video. This is one of the Chattanooga police and Tennessee Highway Patrol chases rape suspect. High-speed chase in the rain. Interesting stuff. Check this out. So they on him. They chasing this guy. I mean, you can hear these engines revving. They're weaving in and out of cars, trying to avoid people, tanker trucks, everything. All right? They're going, I don't know what this guy's driving, but they're going after this guy, right? They are on F, adrenaline going, blood pumping. They are moving 70 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour in some parts of this traffic. Rain is pouring down on this windshield. They are in pursuit.
181A.
So I shortened this video. This is an 8-minute video, but they're still going after this guy. All right, this is crazy. Right, this is the guy right here. They're chasing this guy. He's going, right? So here it is, this one cop trying to avoid pedestrian vehicles. Look what happens. Boom. He runs up underneath the overpass, trying to make sure that he doesn't hit this person. He runs up runs under the overpass and gets stuck, almost kills himself to try to save the life of the person he was going to run into. Unreal. Still chasing this guy. They're going. This is like Smokey and the Bandit. They're going. So they're chasing the guy, right? They're finally catching up to him. They finally catching up to him. They say, we got to stop this guy now, right? So again, this is a common tactic that they do. They fishtail. They let the car spin out of control. They got the car. They slamming into this guy, pulling, making sure that he pulls his car over, that they immobilize the vehicle, all right? Now, of course, you don't see anything at this point. from the police squad car. Look at it. You hear them. Get him out the car. Get him out the car. Get it right now. They have every reason to shoot this guy if they see something. If something looks crazy, their adrenaline is pumping. They got the guns out. Look, right? But somehow they keep their composure. This guy tries to break the glass. I don't know how he didn't break the glass, but he tried to break the glass, but he failed. But here, anything can happen. Anything can happen. They are trying their damnedest. The guy pops open the door. I don't know who does. They drag this guy out. All the cops swarm around him. I think they got this guy. Look at this. They got the guy. They pulled this guy out. They pulled this guy out onto the ground, wrestle him to the ground. They got it under control. Guess what? He does not die. The perp does not die. And they have every reason to. They had a squad car that had to purposely run himself off the road so he doesn't hit another car. He's in rain. People are frightened that they're going to lose control, hit other moving vehicles, hit other tankers in the rain. The high-speed chase, 60, 70 miles an hour and something, running up on the shoulder. They're trying to get this guy to pull over. They finally they immobilize the vehicle. They fishtail it. I'm sorry if I'm getting the terminology wrong. Point the guns at him. One cop tries to break the window, can't break the window, but while he's trying to break the window, the car door pops open. I don't know if it's from the perp or not. They rush in, they pull the guy out, bring him to his belly. They arrest him. They had every reason to shoot this man, and his windows was tinted, if you didn't see. Every reason to shoot this man. All right? And when in these moments where things are so, what's the word I'm looking for? The moment is so elevated. It's so high strung. You don't know what can happen. And sometimes you get distracted from like the man breaking the window. What if the man in his attempt to break the window doesn't notice the dude pulling a gun and he shoots him? All right. I don't know what's happening outside the frame of the camera, but he shoots him. Say there was a man outside and notices motions happening while his partner is trying to break the back window and he sees motioning in the front seat and he lets off shots. He has every right to shoot this man. Every right. I thought I saw something moving. Things were so high energy and we were trying to get him out. He wasn't getting out. I thought he was pulling something and I shot him. That I can understand if a cop said. Not what I saw with Matthew Burroughs and these two officers when they were trying to get him out the car, if they were trying to get him out the car.
I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan.
Radio, shots fired.
Okay, so that was what I played was the Matthew Burroughs video. To see that. You saw the two examples that I gave from the Florida Highway Patrol that she got rear-ended and chased him on a high-speed chase. Eventually, the driver was apprehended. And I showed you the Chattanooga Police and the Tennessee Highway Patrol running after a rape suspect, and they were going through a high-speed chase in the rain. One patrol car, as I said before, crashed, not badly, but just to avoid another pedestrian vehicle. And that was a high-speed chase, and that individual got apprehended. And they had every reason to, even if they were to make it up, say why they discharged their weapon in that moment. I would, in a way, kind of understand, okay, listen, we don't know what's happening. Blood is running fast. As I said, your nerves are going, your muscles are tense, you're breathing heavily. It's a crazy situation. Now, I just have to ask this question. Why would Mr. Burroughs run away from inside the courthouse discovering he had a warrant out on him if he was aware of this warrant? And how would he get away? As I said before, in this courthouse. He's in the courthouse. There's police there. Again, I'm from New York, so I don't know exactly how this works out as far as the setup. But, you know, if he knew he had a warrant, why would he run? He's there in the house. He's there, you know. So he decides to run. But, you know, I understand why would he run? He's there. So they run after him. Number 2, the Niles police said they followed him to his home. There was no gun. They said there was no gun in the car. Yet they said their life was in danger because his car was used as a weapon. From what we've seen in the video, from what we've seen from Officer Reppy's chest cam footage, I did not see any aggressive driving towards Officer Manila. I didn't see any, you know, wheels peeling. I didn't see any aggressive reversing or forward. Everything is from the car as Officer Manila is coming out. Officer Reppy is coming out the car. You see the corner of the video, of the white Ford coming into play. It's pretty much still. It's not really moving. And Officer Manila is standing in front of the car. And that moment, in those seconds, that's when you hear the gunshots, the 3 gunshots, and then the Officer Reppy, you know, he lets off his 4. And the guy is dead. And then you hear, it's just crazy. I didn't see any of that. Not from those other 2 examples I gave, right? It's pretty calm. Now, number 3, watching the chest cam footage from Officer Reppy, Officer Manila's voice over the radio was pretty calm. You know, he says, I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan. Now, in a moment of heightened alert and all this is going on, and, you know, if this aggressive driving was happening, he sounds pretty damn calm. I didn't hear any, you know, shakiness in his voice or excitement. He sounded like he was, you know, chilling in a golf cart, getting ready to get to the 7th tee. I don't think he's going to stop, Dan. I don't think he's going to stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set off these shots. What? Crazy. Now, this is my feeling. It's just, this is my opinion. And I could be totally wrong. The way it sounded, the way this looks, it looks like a hunt and lynch. It looks like these cops were out on their own personal hunt and lynch operation, where we have certain police officers in police departments they get a call from something that's happening, and already, because they know each other, I don't know how well these cops know each other, but you know, you don't know what relationship these guys have, and all of a sudden they click and they go into their own personal, you know, hunt. Like, you know, like Matthew Burroughs was some kind of runaway slave, and they had to go get him. Now, and then who knows? Again, here's my opinion. The way Officer Manila was saying, I don't know if he's going to stop, Dan, sound pretty calm. It could have been a little what do you call it? A signal to other cops that he may know, saying, hey, we're going to come get this guy. You don't know if there's any code words that can be said in police departments over the radio. I would expect that. I wouldn't doubt that. If you have a group of officers that work together over the years, we don't know their views, we don't know their worldview, and we don't know how they think. You don't know if that could have been a code word for saying, yo, I'm gonna shoot this guy because I feel like it, and you got to cover me. And we're gonna make up a story to make sure that we make it seem like it was some sort of getaway, or he was trying to hit me or something like that. We don't know this because the guy sounded so calm. I don't think he's gonna stop, Dan. That could have been code word for I'ma shoot me a nigga, and you gonna back me up on this, okay? And the way their aggression was on as they approached the white Ford, the aggression was like, look out for crossfire, look out. And I know that's routine talk, you know, cop talk, whatever. Make sure nobody gets hit, but it was like the aggression was so, it was there like, yo, we're going to get this guy. Oh, I think he's moving. Like, you know, from the other two videos I played as an example, they had every reason to be at a heightened alert. But nothing. Their job was to apprehend the criminal, pull him out, and arrest him. That's not what I got from Mr. Burroughs' tape, from Officer Reppy's chest cam. It sounded like, I'm getting this nigga, I'ma shoot him, back me up on this right here. Okay, and it's exactly how it goes. And we all know that we have a serious white supremacy problem. I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna keep it real. NPDs across the country. A lot of good cops out there, but we have some groups of cops that work together and they make these little cliques because they have like mind, and next thing you know, all of a sudden they're running in packs. They don't like what's going on with this country. They don't like all these brown and black people that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. These poor niggers, these poor spics. They tired of it. They don't know why they're here. They group up together, and all of a sudden you have packs running together within PDs that are operating without any control. And sometimes it can be thumbed up from the chief, from the captain. It's thumbs up, no problem. Or from the prosecutor. In this case, the prosecutor, his name is, as I said, Dennis Watkins. Or the DA, the district attorney. We don't know how these things come together. The Good Old Boys Club still exists across America, and it is co-signed. Now, a cop job is very hard. Trust me, it is very hard, as in those two videos that I played. And they did their job. But we do have a racism problem in America, and the last bastion, the last dark corner where racism can hide legally is in police departments across America. They are using the law to practice their own hate on other people of color. They're hiding behind the law and saying that person is a perp, he's a criminal, we're going after him, I think he has a gun. And using that as a reason to kill people. Like it's some kind of safari run where they're trying to take down lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, fucking my. So this is a problem. And it's unfortunate. Hopefully the family doesn't stop here dealing with this case. And I support the Matthew Burroughs and the Burroughs family. And I hope they don't stop and they continue with trying to bring justice to light and against all the officers that were involved with this case. So justice for Matthew Burroughs, and I will keep you tuned in to what is happening with the family in Niles, Ohio. All right, so on to the next few songs. We have Emillo with Livin and Louie Mack with 10 Figures. Check these two brothers out. All right.
All that shit you told me, I believe. The smile on your face, the only thing I carry. Let the night back inside my life. It's gonna take more than that to say it right. Let the night back inside my life. It's gonna take more than that to say it right.
Better bet I'm living. Better bet I'm good. Better bet I'm living. Better bet I'm good. Fuck good, I'm great. So great, 100. Better bet I'm living. How a nigga always want it. He ain't wanted cash, he ain't wanted rap, he ain't wanted the sun. Now I get the cash, now I get the rap, I don't even wanna front. Look at what I done, jury on my thumb. One mixtape later, I've outlasted my haters with no deal from no major. Funny that you thought I was slipping off while I'm sipping this boss. Never getting lost, following my heart, getting rich from my thoughts. I'm a future boss, loading up the vault, cause I gotta play it smart.
0 days off living life. You mad, that's your fault, nigga. Ayy, better bet I'm living.
Hey, turn it up. GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio.
Fuck good, I'm great. So great, 100. Better bet I'm living. How a nigga always want it. Sex God, yes God. And I'm blessed with the best job. Loading cushion, a backwood. And to be the best artist, gotta get your own trust up. I just lost my father. Built my own damn trust fund. Better bet I'm living. Having fun while I do it. All of y'all act crazy. Most of y'all act stupid. Never had to act up. I go Tom Brady in the clutch. When I go and grip the clutch. While I'm whipping through the stuff, nigga. Better bet I'm living. Better bet I'm good. Better bet I'm living. Better bet I'm good. Fuck good, I'm great. So great, 100. Better bet I'm living. How a nigga always want it.
The hell is this? This supposed to be some kind of music video? Happened to the classics. $500,000 budgets, jet skis, gold necklaces, big booty women. What's Emilio? Whatever the hell the name is. He don't know nothing about no Livin. I know about Livin. I was in those videos. Hush. The big videos. We had everything. Big waves, big clothes, big jeans, big jerseys, big women, big budgets. Big women. Look at you. You lost it. This is good work. I like what this Emillo boy's doing. I like it a lot. And you need to get your act together. You're not keeping it 100. You're not keeping it 100, baby. This is nonsense. Rude. Both of y'all like this? Yeah. What do you like about this? It's art. Fart's more like it. Javante! What? Don't talk like that. What I say? Fart? That's what it is? Don't wake up the baby. Sing Livin.
Better bet I'm living. Better bet I'm good. Better bet I'm living. Better bet I'm good. Better bet I'm living. Better bet I'm good. Better bet I'm good.
You heard it here first, folks. Where else can you hear the latest? You know the show. Say it.
K6, why you do that to me?
Ephesus piss poor, I'm on an island, ducked off and dipped off. Ballin' on niggas like the tip off. See, I start to get pissed off, then gotta prove a point like Chris Paul and bang on a nigga like a missed call. You know, Mack, my business on the need to know. And all you need to know is that I needs the dough. Anybody in my way gotta relieve the hole. Flow frozen, I'm the motherfucking freeze patrol. I'm over niggas by my head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Came here in a hoopty, bet I leave in rows. Flow sick, cough, sore throat, sneeze, and cold. Lead a competition, box dropped and grieved in stone. Stay loyal to my grind, cause I'm true to myself. I don't need niggas to win when I could do it myself. Love my bitch, if she switch, I might do it myself. They don't want Lou in the stores, but they want Lou on the shelf. Fuck it, I'm about that Benji Green. My new friends are pretending bees, cause I got hits like the Genovese. Fuck robbing niggas, never been a thief. But if a nigga try to rob me, I gotta take what he came with at least.
I'm a money getter, bitches getter, niggas hating on me, go figure.
You know what you're rocking to?
Rocking with the best.
Only the best. GCOM Radio.
I put the G in guys, no using wise. You could die for asking me about who and why. When Lou demise, I'm breaking limbs and bruising eyes. Remove the price, I'm doing it for oohs and eyes. The truth's a lie, but being broke could truly die. I moved the pie by adding it with Bruce and Sprite. I too him nice, I showed it and I proved it thrice. It's do or die, we pull up and we shoot surprises. Movie night, so bitch I guess it's crew good night. You choose to to fight. Well, I make it a gruesome night. I'm true to size, so everything Bruce's size. If you deny, I hit the booth and poof, goodbye. My shoes is bright, so please don't get no you on I, or you get tired and drug around the school for nights. If you reply with any of your foolish pride, then you get fried and bagged up like school supplies. If you collide, cheat still, then you can die. So you can drive this Honda to a pool and dive. I'm loose tonight, the stripper showing boobs tonight. I lose my ones, I guess I'll have to do with fives, cause I'm a
money getter, bitches getter, niggas hating on me, go figure. I'm a 10-figure type of nigga. I'm a 10-figure type of nigga.
Okay, we have returned. That was Emillo with Livin and Louie Mack with 10 figures. Dope artist, man. Dope artist. Loving them. Yeah, so we're going to get into the last segment of the show. And matter of fact, before we get into the last segment of the show, we got to get into the news you need to know. Okay, listen up.
Ladies and gentlemen, around the world and right in your neighborhood, it's the news you need to know.
First all-electric gas station, and not in California. Major car companies have recently made official statements on their release of their own EV vehicles. The only thing is there are no electric stations equivalent to gas stations that are currently out that is going to match that new outflow. Tesla has their own stations, but nothing outside of that. Well, there is one. You would think Cali would be the first state to start this, but not. Where? Maryland. RS Automotive Station in Tacoma, Maryland in particular. After having trouble with securing proper contract terms with his gasoline supplier, owner DePessoir Dolly decided to overhaul his station to all electric. After getting a grant for $786,000 from Electric Vehicle Institute and the Maryland Energy Administration, he transitioned smoothly to 4 dispensers for EVs with a 200 kilowatt system. Knowing he's entering a slim market, Dole says, quote, "You notice there are not too many electric vehicles on the road, so it's not something that I expect to become rich overnight or something like that, but it's a good cause and good for the environment." Maryland is home to more than 20,700 registered electric vehicles, as well as an electric tax service. Will Smith fights homelessness by raising $50 million. Will Smith and Helen Mirren plan to read a bedtime story during a one-night fundraising event to help raise awareness and monies for the homeless problem around the world. Partnering with the world's Big Sleep Out, a nonprofit working on eradicating homelessness and displacement of people, created this event. It encourages everyone to sleep out one night in a backyard, an office, or a street to show support for this ignored issue. Aside from live performances, Will Smith will be reading in Times Square, and Miss Mirren will be at the Trafalgar Square in London. I am blown away by the response to the world's Big Sleep Out so far, and incredibly excited to have 50 cities all over the world taking part, Josh Littlejohn, the founder of World's Big Sleep Out, says. It doesn't matter if you are taking part in Times Square or in your back garden with your family. By sleeping out for one night on December 7th, we can simultaneously express our compassion for homeless people who have no other choice and raise life-saving funds to make a difference. That's nice. And that is the news you need to know. Okay, we are back. All right, so we're going to get into the third segment of the show. But big ups to Will Smith and Helen Mirren for giving their time to help raise awareness and monies for the homeless around the world. I think that is an honorable thing to do. So the topic is about Uber. Now, remember back in the day, and I say back in the day because as fast as information goes nowadays, back in the day, it's like 2 weeks ago. But it was like a month ago that there was a strike. The Uber drivers were on a strike. Now, they did a protest demonstration in Chicago, London, and Washington, and they also protested in front of the Uber office in San Francisco. And they did it at a time during Uber's initial public offering. They were expecting to raise $9 billion. It's amazing that Uber was going to raise $9 billion, and we have Uber drivers that are protesting because they're not getting paid enough money. Now, from what I understand, Uber pays, before initially Uber paid drivers per ride, a percentage per ride, and then that changed, and of course the drivers had problems with that. And they also promised transparency to the data of how, of course, it broke down the money they were making, what deductions were being made, but they kind of fell through with that promise. So after all of this, of course, you know, the demonstrating, whatever, and, you know, the bad press that was happening in Uber, they finally decided to offer a minimum wage of $21 an hour. However, this $21 an hour supposedly it's not going to be 21 because, again, after all the deductions, they said the devil's in the details, that drivers wouldn't be getting paid that much. And plus some other things. I think they would be getting paid health insurance, some other things. And so they're proposing this $21 an hour. I don't know how far they're getting into this. And actually they want to do like a pay per trip or something. So they said New York was trying to push for a while on your trip, I guess legislation or something, or law for Uber drivers in New York, because New York honestly is the largest, most important ride hailing market. And the other smaller companies like Lyft and Juno don't like it because it somehow is going to be a problem as far as how they're going to compete in that particular market that they're in, along with Uber. Listen, I'm not, I don't know all the details of Uber. I've tried it in the past, but I guess I never really took the time to understand how payments get made or how Uber drivers get made. On one side, I heard Uber drivers get paid like some, pretty decent money. And then on the other side, I hear that they're not getting paid enough. So I don't exactly know where this fits in everything. I have a friend that drives Uber. He doesn't complain. He makes his money. He does it. He makes his own hours. He can make money. And then, of course, I hear about the other thing. Oh, I don't really get paid a lot. So where that fits in, what the details are, I don't know. But what I can tell you, oh, and by the way, before I even continue, I heard that in the midst of all this, Uber executives got paid $45 million. $45 million in earnings or bonuses or whatever for the company. Now, I've always found that absolutely crazy how people can spend their energy on protesting, and for obvious reasons. They're not asking for more than they should. They're just protesting because they feel like, hey, I'm in this, I'm doing it, I'm not getting paid enough money, and they're going and spending all this energy, expending all this energy, and using their voice and going through the trouble of protesting at these cities and then in front of San Fran. And then you have a CEO that's making $45 million, like one person or two people, whatever the breakdown was when I saw it online somewhere. And I'm like, what? I've always had an issue with that. I never understood why this is happening. All right. Now, my thing is with technology, I don't have issues. I talk about technology a lot and how it benefits humanity and people, and things only supposed to be quicker, faster, easier, something that benefits humanity as a whole. But I never understood, I will never understand how you can have technology can be created for the benefit of people. They can make money. It makes their lives easier. And yet at the same time, we fall into the same model of the few making a whole lot as opposed to the many that has to scrounge and rub pennies together to try to make a living. I feel that the technology is in a place where it does not have to be that way. Especially in a model of Uber. Again, I'm not an Uber driver. I don't know the mathematical breakdown, a pie chart, where the money is going. But I know that there's some sort of corruption or abuse when you have companies that are making as much as Uber is making. Now, their initial public offering was going to be, and they were trying to raise $9 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't get it. I put it like this. If you're a company that makes $750 million a year, all right, $750 million, I can't understand. I do understand. I get the other side, the capitalistic version. But again, logic invades my mind to the point where I have to think like this. If you're making $750 million as a company, whatever it is, and yet the people can't live to eat, and they're protesting, I don't understand how you can't take, okay, I'm making $750 million. Let me take $250 million and disperse it to the people. Let me give it in bonuses, in holidays. Let me turn that into, they can make X amount of extra money if they stay out there or something or other where people can actually live. It doesn't make sense to me that we have to continue with this model where we pay the masses so little, but yet the top makes so much. It baffles me, especially with the technology that we're confronted with today. I can't make sense of it. Why is this continuing? And it's the same thing I felt about music. I'm like, why are artists making so little money when it's available to them that they don't have to go down that same model? Well, yet in music streaming, artists get paid so little. We're handing down the same road, but we're trying to say that we're so forward thinking, and the new tech that we're using, whether it's hardware or software, and we have the global economy and the global market, and it's open up to so many people, yet the same model comes into play, the same structure where the masses get paid so little. And I think that's ridiculous. Companies are making enough money, and the way they're presenting themselves to the market, where they're making, we're going to make $1 billion in 2 years, yet there's not enough to go around when it's for the bottom half. And I'm like, okay, you guys have money. Okay, so what's the deal? Where is the breakdown occurring? I think we have to change the structure. I think we have to change the corporate culture of how we deal with people. We have to change the corporate culture of what we're expecting from CEOs. Now, I'm not saying for CEOs to not make any money. Look, it's your idea. You put it out there. It's going off like gangbusters. Sure, you should make money. But ethically, how can you accept with a smile so much money, and then people are banging the door that they're not making enough? Or unless you're really propping up this business and it's really not worth $1 billion, it's just overinflated, it's artificially inflated because you're just trying to make a quick buck and then sell it later down the line, right? That could also be the case. But is it? Either way, that's bad business for the market and for the companies that are out there. Whether you're artificially inflating your valuation or you actually are making this money and you're telling the people that are making the money for your company, let them eat cake, be gone with them. We have to improve the way we do things. And you know what? Whenever I see something like this, especially with the Uber drivers, I hope they get what they want. And then for a company to say, well, oh my God, that's going to shave off $250 million off our projected earnings next year. Interesting. Now, I'm a founder myself of Lyfeblood.com, of course. And then of course the CEO is going to tell me, well, are you willing to take that same pay cut? I think it's considered, yes, because I can't put myself in the same position. And I know that's bad business, because all of a sudden all those investors out there are going to be like, what is he talking? Then this business will never make money. Right. But I just can't see it in my mind where I know someone has to take on a second job because they're not making enough money as an employee of my business. You know what I mean? We're trying to, as an owner of Lyfeblood.com, what I'm trying to is open the doors, hopefully, for other companies to be more mindful of how they treat their workers, and that they should get a fair wage, not the bare minimum, not a minimum wage, but something that is equated to the standard of living in the cities or towns that they live in, so they can live a healthy and just life. And if I can't do that as a founder to my employees, I have failed. Now, yeah, on the numbers on paper, yeah, I could say, yeah, well, I'm projected to make X amount of money. I'm looking good. But I think we have to move beyond that. I'm saying you can make a profit, but you can also pay your workers a living wage. Because if your workers are happy, those are the people that make your business. If your workers are happy, your business will flourish. Now, I'm not saying, oh, these are socialists. You're gonna give up. I'm not saying that. But I'm not gonna be Scrooge McDuck, where I'm counting the slivers of my gold coins that I'm gonna keep as much as I can. While others are starving. It's ridiculous. I think we're moving or shifting into a new mode of thought in our society in the 21st century, where technology is going to benefit people, but it doesn't have to take away from those that want to be a part of this new service or product. I think that's madness. And people should do something different. And if Uber drivers are not happy with it, go to another company. Go with another company with a better or a new corporate culture where everyone is treated fairly and everyone can get a decent piece of the pie in order for them to live. And it's out there. It's out there. It's not hard. It's all a state of mind. But we're so profit driven in this hyper capitalist society and so profit focused that everybody else is just secondary or third. And it's like, no, the main focus here is to make profit. And I think that is one of the key problems that has led us down this road for the past 30, 40 years. So we have to make a shift. Okay, so I'm gonna make this short for this third segment. That was my talk for this third segment. Much props and support to Uber drivers. So we're gonna get out of here, folks. Thank you for tuning in again for this episode. Oh yes, and support for Matthew Burroughs. So justice for Matthew Burroughs, the brother that died in Niles, Ohio, from that unfortunate event with the police. And I'll try to put some information and on the site to see if you can go there and support the family, and whatever financially or legally, if you can throw some support to them, the Burroughs family, that would be great. So again, folks, remember Lyfeblood.com. Please go and let's join. As I always say, join the community. We're building a network, and I'm not here to shave gold coins and give people slivers. A little, what do they call it? Have people eat porridge. You know what I mean? That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to build something that's more equitable, that everyone could partake in, and that's with this group economics model that we're building. This idea of dollar power within the Lyfeblood community. So that's for everyone, not just in the county, U.S. county, but for around the world in this global community. So join Lyfeblood.com, start your passion, let people know about it, and build that network. All right, thank you for listening to me. I'll see you guys next week. Be well. We out.
Check it. You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town. We out.